Hello, we're on a little bit of a trip today. I'm going to Barton-on-Sea, which is south of New Forest, because, well, if you actually want to know, I'm going to the fossil beds because I want to have a little look around. But any excuse to get out on the bike and go for a bit of a longer ride. And as DIVI is the bike to do little longer trips like this, I should be doing them more. I don't have to go millions of miles, but just coming down here on Derrick is it's a pain in the arse. So I've got to make the most of it. You may have noticed I'm using the Drift 4K. I managed to pick up an adapter which seems to work better than the normal Drift one, and I can now vlog with the camera, but obviously there's a few differences, and I'm not entirely sure if I'm keen on this 140 degree field of view. It just makes, I mean, now the colours look great and it's a lot sharper than the Ghost S, but when I move my head around, it's more magnified. It's about a 50-mile trip to where I want to go from home. No, it's about 54, I think. But I made great time because a huge lump of it is just sat on the A27, and DIVI, she can sit at speeds above 70 and just cruise. Am I going the right way? Yeah. Did I ever tell that story? I may have done. I had the sat-nav on the SV650 I was reviewing a long while ago when I went to the New Forest, and I was looking down at it. Oh! And I was like, is that right? Looked up and the queue of traffic, of course, had stopped. I had to do one of the most emergency brakes I've ever done, and I basically overshot the car that was there by about half a foot because I went slightly to the left. Yeah, the brakes on that bike are pretty good. Equally, I now hate sat-navs and I don't want it on my bike, but it's going to take me all day if I try and do it another way. Let's see, a bit of an update on things. I've applied to a few places for jobs, not places that have jobs, places that I'd like to work for, and I hope that, you know, my skill set might make them think, oh, we would love that guy on board, let's see where we can fit him in. That's what I'm hoping for. Just need a bit of luck, but that's one of the reasons I'm doing this today. I want to de-stress. I mean, obviously this is costing me a bit more in fuel than it normally would to make a video, and before people say, yeah, I know Lyme Regis is much better for fossils, well, it's another place, it's more well known. Yeah, I do want to go on these places one day. I think being able to go out and just find little, like, you know, fossilized this and fossilized shark's teeth that are like 50 odd million years old, just be able to go and find them off the beach and pick them up and take them home and keep them. It's like, that's a really cool thing. But then I would think that because I am the sort of person that I am. God, don't look at the sat-nav of death. Do not, no, do, right, okay, we're at 11 miles, 19 minutes. Okay, not too bad. This is the frustrating thing about this area though. The roads are great, the scenery is great, but you daren't go quick because of all the bloody animals. Horses, donkeys, God knows what. And most of them were in the actual, within the park as it were, the reserve, the forest. We're just sort of skimming around the outside of it. But still, it'll be everywhere. 5.5 miles to go and I'm in a gorse grove. Oh, it smells so good though. Gorse is probably, no, it is my favourite smell in the world. It smells like a cross between suntan lotion, coconut oil and just fresh beachiness. But because of Hailing, like, you know, it's always been covered in gorse. I think it's my home smell. So when I smell it in other places along the coast, I'm like, oh, I feel that same sort of feeling of being at home. You know what I mean? Even though you're not. It is nice. It is very brown and dry looking, but that's where New Forest is kind of. It looks a bit dead in the summer, most of the time actually, because it's like heathland and stuff, but it's all good. Still got prettiness. High deer risk area, apparently. Fuck off, Bambi, I don't want to get to know you. think though, oh, if I'm on a really loud bike, it'd be more likely to scare them away as you approach. No, it seems to be the opposite. They run at you. Deer are a bit fucking dumb. Does that say motorcycles only? It does! And as such, they shouldn't charge you. Yeah, basically the beaches I need to go and look at are just down there. That's the Isle of Wight, but the other end of it, and you can see the needles off the end. Cool. Okay, I don't know if you can actually hear me or not, but basically this is the starting point. These are the slumps, and the clay formation, which has got all the fossils in it, well, a couple of them in different layers, runs through it. So basically, just go and have a search around. I've come early because low tide is the best time to go and look on the beach, which I'll do later on. But for now, I'm going up in them. There's the Isle of Wight over there. I've walked all the way from the far end. It's not that far at all actually, but I've taken about an hour to do it. And I've had a bit of a search up in the clays up there. I've had a search down the beach, and I've found a few little fossils and a few broken pieces of shark's tooth. But yeah, I want more. But the tide's not low yet, and I've got a couple of hours before that, so I'm going to make my way back down that way along the top more. I'll show you some of that in a minute. And then when the tide's out, I'm going to go and search the beach, because that's where you can easily find bits of shark's teeth. But I want whole ones. We've got crows here as well. Hey crow. Yeah. Of course you won't be able to see this, but on top of that rock there is a little bird called a wheatear, which is a migrant, which means spring is fully here. I'll show you more of this in a minute, but you can see how this is really grey. And if you look closely, you can see it's full of little shells. These are all fossilised. There's a nice one. Wow. Yeah. So as you can see, it's just millions of them. I really do want to find the sharky teeth. Sharky teeth, to me, are cool. They're cool to everyone, and what everyone looks for first. So the tide's mostly out now, and I'm just wandering around, looking at little black things, hoping they turn out to be teeth. I found a few. Can't tell if any of them are properly whole yet. I just got wet feet. Mostly broken chips of teeth. Okay, so as you can see here, this is called the slumps, which is basically the cliff that's coming down so quickly. It's at quite a shallow angle. Brown stuff appears to be modern-y. There doesn't appear to be any shells or anything in there. Might be the odd one, but come along, you see it suddenly turns grey. Obviously, this is the impossible. Look, we found a bottle inside fossilised mud. How could this possibly be? This must be like millions of years old. Or could it be that it was at the top and got caught in the rain? What did they drink back there? I don't even know what that is. These are pretty cool and weird. I'm not entirely sure what they are, but I know they tend to contain fossils, but there's loads of them all over the place. Some of them are already fractured and they just literally fall apart in your hands. Right. Now I'm coming up the hill a bit, where it's not too steep, and everywhere you look here, there's little bits of fossil, bits of shell. It's mostly just shells. Like, shell, bits of shell, more bits of shell. The teeth, the shark's teeth, which are down on the beach, must come out of this. In which case, why can't we just look in this for them? And maybe it's just a numbers thing. Maybe they're just not that common. You need a lot of stuff to have been eroded to get half a dozen teeth down there or something, I don't know. Another thing you've got to watch out for here, you see how it's completely solid here? Yeah, it's not there. And you find these places where water's just pouring through the cliff. They're likely to collapse, so maybe don't go near them. This is not as bad as I have seen it. Right, I was about to jump and all sorts of shit, parkour it, but I think I'm just going to walk around. Look, that'll be Jake in a few weeks. Well, apart from he'll have power. Yeah, pretty cool. You know you're in a good spot when within minutes of low tide, quite a few people turned up and are quite blatantly doing the exact same thing I am. Well, they're looking for stuff on the beach. I'm having more of a... oh shit. How the fuck am I going to get down this? I was taking more of a direct approach, but I'm probably being an idiot in doing it. They know what they're doing most likely, more than me. Oh yeah. Okay, well I'm on my way home. I spent hours walking around that beach. I only found a few little shark's teeth and quite a lot of fragments and a few of the little bits and pieces I'll show you. But I didn't find the big shark's tooth I had in mind. The most gutting thing was I got to watch another guy do exactly that, only feet away from me. I didn't know this until he wandered over and went, "So, found anything good?" And I was like, "Not really." And he went, "Oh, well, I just found this." And I was just like, "Oh, you arsehole! I hate you. I hate you so much." It would have been like the perfect end to today. It would have put me in a properly good mood. But unfortunately, I'm in a good mood. It was a lovely day. It was a nice place. And I do want to come back to it. But, oh God, sometimes you're like, if there was a God, he's an absolute prick. But his experience though, the guy obviously lives here, he walks up and down the beach regularly and his eyes are tuned for the little tiny fragment of it that you actually see to know that it's worth picking up. But I found some tiny teeth in the same method, but I don't know, maybe it's because I've only found tiny ones so far. Anyway, I've got quite a long trip back and it won't be long before I end up just on the A27, just hurtling down there, so I'm going to say thank you for watching. I don't know what this was really about. I didn't really have a subject. We were just in some nice roads. I went looking for some fossils. Didn't find any. Well, I found a few and then got mugged over by a passerby.